Hey everyone, welcome back to another Friday with Dannphan, number 74. My goodness. That's not even counting the ones that are not technically Fridays with Dannphan. I have certainly done a lot of these streams. I see that we have a bunch of chat messages already. I did schedule the stream ahead of time, so I guess people popping in, leaving the messages, and then popping out. And Carrie, yay! $2 donation at work, but I'll catch the rerun. Hashtag keep fighting. Yes, VOD watchers, or as Adam calls them, the VOD squad, of course. Gabe the Gen, still playing some Castlevania. I get it, man. Castlevania is pretty cool. Brian saying, hey guys, so happy to be able to join today. Well, welcome aboard. Hello, Popcorn. Hi from Jamie Rose. Trent. Hey, you got this. Hell yeah. How is everybody doing this fantastic Friday? Once again, my face looks super dark in the lighting. I have to adjust the lighting so much when it comes to doing these types of streams and videos. My face is just never properly lit. It's like we're getting there, right? It's getting a little better than past streams, of course, but it's still just not my favorite lighting in the world. Oh well. It'd be helpful if I had like more of if this was like a real desk where I rest everything on, then I could put both of the lightings like up top, but I have to put like one on the ground and like one over here sort of. So it's not really as good. Yeah, spooky story Dannphan. That's it. It's intentional for Halloween. I hope you guys have fun plans for October, whether it be Oktoberfest, because that's a big thing, or of course, yeah, Halloween. Everyone's getting out their costumes, I'm sure. I don't think there's any events for Oktoberfest around here. As far as like costume goes, me and Adam have been kind of tossing up the idea of eventually doing like a couple's cosplay of Trish and Hohenheim from Full Metal Alchemist. You know, because my name is Trish and Hohenheim has long hair and a beard and glasses, so he doesn't want to put on any wigs or anything to drastically change his look. So that would be something easy for him. We could also just do that for any sort of convention we go to or anything like that. Even if we don't like find good costumes in time for Halloween. Another fun thing about October, everything is pumpkin spice now. Everything is pumpkin spice. We got the pumpkin spice lattes out there. I don't know if I've ever had one, honestly. I've had other pumpkin spice things, and I do like coffee, but I've just never had a pumpkin spice latte. Is that weird? Have I like broken some sort of white girl rule by not going out and getting a pumpkin spice latte? Do I need that initiation? I had pumpkin spice Cheerios. Or not really Cheerios. They're like knockoff brand. But that was pretty good. It didn't taste like pumpkin spice per se though. At all. It more like tasted like a little of pumpkin spice, but not in the grand scheme of things. It really didn't have that flavor. But they weren't bad. They had a good crunch. That's important for cereal, right? They have a good crunch. Besides that, I also had pumpkin spice ravioli. Those also were meh. They did taste a lot more pumpkin spicy, but they were like really sweet for ravioli. So I didn't really like that as much. Rather not have super over the top sugary ravioli. No good. But they were fine. They were fine. They did. I could eat them without vomiting, of course. Then I've also had the seasonal pumpkin spice ramen. And surprisingly, it is delicious. That one I can actually endorse. I did enjoy the pumpkin spice ramen. I didn't think I would. I thought that would be like super fucking weird. I was expecting it to be kind of the same thing as the ravioli, but no, the ramen was good. The ravioli was kind of eh. All these other pumpkin spice things that I've had, I need to get out there and get a pumpkin spice latte. I need to go through the initiation. Oh, thanks for the donation, Patrick. Do you like astronomy? Are American proud of NASA? Oh, you're referring to the NASA shirt? It's actually kind of a funny story behind that. So apparently, if you go to NASA's site, they say that you're allowed to use the logo. They have some sort of restriction on it. But basically, that's the main reason why a lot of t-shirt companies just started selling shirts with the NASA logo on it, because the logo itself is like well designed. So people like the look of it. They think it's cool. Even if they're not super into becoming an astronaut, the logo is nice looking. And the government essentially gave people the right or the option to put it on clothing without having to like give them royalties or anything. So that's why the logo just kind of exploded on clothing for a while, because people were buying it and they didn't have to really pay for the design. It's kind of a weird thing. I looked it up before because I was curious, like, I wonder why all these other clothing companies are allowed to put it on t-shirts, because it's like a government logo there. What's going on? What was the restriction on it, though? I think it was like it was a certain amount of sales. Had pumpkin spice flavored ice cream. Not bad for an ice cream. That's, I guess that makes sense, now that I think about it, because I'm thinking back to how sweet it kind of tastes. You could make it into pretty good ice cream, I think. Yeah, I can see that. Had a pumpkin spice donut once. That's as far down that rabbit hole as I'm going. You don't want to take the initiation and try the pumpkin spice latte with me? We have to know. Opinion on Manga Plus update. Good question. I always knew that Manga Plus would eventually become a subscription. They were always heading in that direction. Whether or not I think the subscription is worth it, it's kind of similar to the subscription on the Shonen Jump app, right? Only, of course, it has a little bit more variety in what they offer on Manga Plus. But yeah, the main thing is getting access to all chapters of a particular manga series, as opposed to only getting to view the latest chapters or the earliest chapters. I knew that they were going to go in that direction. That's how it was for a while, and then they switched it so that you could just view all the chapters, no restrictions. And then now they do the update, right? Because once they get you hooked, then you have to get the subscription, of course. But yeah, I knew that they were going in that direction. I don't really understand how they set it up with the different prices for different types of. Here, because I did make a post about it, so I might as well share that for a little bit. This was my post about it, where I just kind of took a screenshot of the whole thing. They have a pricing table here, but it's kind of like, like the standard plan and the deluxe plan, right? That's a significant enough difference for me to wonder what the heck is going on there. And the main difference is completed titles. So I assume that means like every chapter for a title that is on the platform, you get all the chapters for? Or do they mean manga that is completed, as in like has ended, has their finale? You get all the chapters for. That's the main difference between the monthly payment and the deluxe plan, though. I guess because they're saying currently serializing titles up here, I guess what they mean is completed as in finished, ended manga. You can just binge the whole series, while as the currently updating ones you can check in on. I kind of get where they're going for. It's like discover a new series and also keep up with the ones that you're already keeping up with. The $4.99 price tag, I think, is pretty similar to Mangamo, which is another manga app that I used for a while. Unfortunately, that particular app had a bunch of glitches and weird shit going on there, so I couldn't keep it. But other than that, it was great. Other than that, right? All right. That's about all I got to say about that. I'm not the type of person that gets like infuriated when people charge for product or anything. It is what it is, right? I mean, you can't have everything for free. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to even start a comic business. I just had to offer everything for free, you know? Hey, we got Renee in the chat. Happy Friday, everyone. I don't drink coffee. It gives me the but that's the point. You get high from the caffeine and it makes you get so much work done. It's okay, Jamie. I hope it can influence in WSJ rankings. Okay. And going to guess that's meant for finished manga, though not being available for the standard plan is odd. Yeah, I guess so. I would kind of just prefer it if they had one plan, personally, because if you're keeping up with the manga, all the new chapters are free on the app anyway. Well, why would you go for the $1.99 plan? Why not just jump for the deluxe? Why even offer it as an option is really what I mean. I mean, so that you don't get any ads anymore. But the ads on, have you guys used Manga Plus? The ads on Manga Plus are so out of the way. They're not annoying at all. They are very manageable. I mean, maybe they want to put more ads on there later down the line, but as of right now, I don't find them so annoying that I would pay money to get rid of them. It's a totally fine app to use free. You'd figure it'd be the other way around. I don't know. Honestly. Because like I said, it's kind of part of the idea is also finding new series to jump on rather than buying the individual volumes and reading them. Or I guess, going online and pirating them. The multiple plans is probably something that marketing insisted on, some psychological bullshit. That's a good point. That is definitely a good point, because maybe some people will be like, I'll go for the cheaper plan, and then they'll want to upgrade to actually get the stuff that they realize they want later down the line, or they figured out it's only $1.99, so I'll just get something cheap. But really, I don't think I don't think there's any point to go for the $1.99 plan. Me personally, I think if you're gonna subscribe to the Manga Plus, you might as well go for the deluxe. Yeah, the first plan seems pointless as the second one is objectively better. Too bad the better one is more expensive. I mean, the one thing that they include on the deluxe plan is the main thing that people would subscribe for. That's the funny thing. I Dannphan. Hey, what's up, Ray Dylan? As long as the ads aren't YouTube and Twitch levels of invasiveness. They are not. They are not. They're very tame on the app. They're so tame that, like I said, I could never imagine myself paying to get rid of them. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess it's a bad thing for business if you're trying to sell people on the subscription to get rid of the ads. Maybe they should be annoying. Oh man. I do like using the app. It's been an overall positive experience using Manga Plus. Although, granted, it didn't do anything as far as getting me more emails for the mailing list of Reaper. Unfortunately, I thought I had something clever going on there. Apparently not. Let me see this comment. I have to wait 6 months after the release with the DC app I have to upgrade in that to read the new, which I don't like or will give them more money. I will rather buy real copies at store. English. Oh, I messaged you the animal U's that we drew on Twitter. Sweet. I have not forgotten to scan in the slugs. It's just that I have to figure out how the scanner works. That's all. It's been a while. Sounds way better than visiting a wiki for a certain game or anime where they play so much ad-related stuff that it sometimes crashes my browser. Yeah, I don't think you'd have that problem with Manga Plus. Sometimes the ads don't even show up. Sometimes it's just a blank square, and you can just swipe right past it. No biggie. I've been looking to get back into reading manga, but I don't have the space for physical like so many. But my eyes hurt reading off a screen after a while. Yeah. It's kind of a balancing act there. I read most of my manga digitally first, obviously through Manga Plus or through Computer Here. But yeah, reading in physical is always better for the eyes, especially when you also work on the computer. You're just like in front of the blue screen 99% of the time. It's a big pain, but just got to remember to take breaks and pace yourself, I suppose. How do you read your comics online usually? Well, honestly, most of what I've been reading has been on the Manga Plus app, just because it's so convenient using your phone to read, as opposed to being on the laptop where I'm like leaning over and scrolling the whole time. Plus, it starts hurting my hand after a while because I'm basically just making a claw with the trackpad, just clawing up my hand. So I prefer reading on the app. When I do read online, there is the Manga Plus website, but there are also other websites. that you'll just find when you search for manga online. There's also Google Play Store, and I'm not a Google cuck or anything, but the reason why I would buy manga on the Play Store specifically is just because they, from what I understood anyway, gave a bigger cut to the publishers selling on the Google Play Store. A bigger cut than Comixology or Kindle or whatever the Amazon one was. So I would always buy from there instead. I don't know if that's changed or anything, but that's how it was when I started buying stuff on the Play Store. Sometimes they also just have stuff that's straight up free on there, like manga that they just give out. Kodansha does that a lot, where they'll just have one day where they're like, hey, a bunch of these titles are free, go get them. And then I just pop on the Play Store and just pick them up, add to shelf, you know. But yeah, obviously it's kind of just better reading on the phone or physical, less of the claw going on there. I prefer reading physical manga. Don't mind digital, especially for stuff that never got official US releases. Yeah. I think everyone prefers reading the physical books. It's just other inconvenient issues, like, you know, what he said before. There's no space for like all these different series, because some of these manga series, they go on for so many volumes, so many. And then like, where do you put all the books? You're gonna have to like get 7 different bookshelves just to hold all the different series, dedicate 2 bookshelves just to the One Piece series alone. But you know, I think when it comes to very long manga series, I only usually get the volumes that I like the best, rather than just collecting the entire series. And you know, space is obviously a part of that, but it's also like, why am I gonna get a volume where nothing happens? One Piece, you are guilty of this. So many volumes where like they're just running around the map. It's like the in-between volume to get to the good volume where all the stuff happens. where the fights actually begin. One volume, they're just running to the fight. Then the next volume, they actually start fighting the bad guy. It's tough. Is that where you read those lovely DCYA things? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I cry not at having to get rid of those DCYA books. What got you into manga? I guess a series of different things, honestly. I mentioned it occasionally, but when I was growing up, they did actually have some manga in the school libraries, so long as it was, I guess, approved by the school board. So not usually the most gory or craziest of manga in there, but I did pick up a couple different series from the school libraries. Not anything that would blow me away that I can fully endorse or anything, but that's kind of my first step into that. Because I remember seeing the art style and being like, ooh, I really like this. And I don't see, you know, being an American, especially at that time, I did not see a lot of American comics done in that art style. most of what I had seen was, I guess, the stereotypical, somewhat realistic proportion American comic book styles with the superhero. I guess maybe some people call it the American superhero art style, where they literally teach you how to draw all characters the same way, type thing. And then I saw manga in the library, and I was like, ooh, different. I like. But they were also, even like the subjects, even the subject of the material was very different as opposed to what I had seen before. It was manga that was aimed towards my age group, for example, or for young girls, right? As opposed to a bunch of superhero stuff. Not that I didn't like the superhero stuff, but it was good to see something different also. Good to get some variety in there, you know? Let me see. If DC hired you to do a YA novel, what would you do? I would make it good. That's the best thing that I could do for them, is give them a good DC YA novel, because all of them are just so miserable. Man. I don't know. I guess I'm not a New York Times best-selling author, so they probably wouldn't want me. But the moment that they gave me a character, I'd be like, all right, I'm doing all my research on this character. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure out how to make this tame for teenagers. I'm gonna put in a wholesome message in there. Just shove that in where I can, you know. Talk about heroism and being the best person you can be, stuff that fucking superhero comics were known for to begin with. But you know, in all likelihood, though, what they do when they hire people to write for DCYA, they probably have a checklist of things in mind that they have to have in the story. I assume that's kind of what it's like for most things nowadays, though. They just have a checklist. They're like, okay, well, you can't show a woman losing in a fight. You can't show or blah, 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 you know. I don't know if I would have any superhero that I would want to grab hold of in DC. I mean, obviously, I was a big fan of Teen Titans growing up, but they already have someone doing their own version of Teen Titans in the DCYA department. I would love to read a Dannphan YA novel. It would be refreshing to read a story about young people that's not insufferably left-wing. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, on my website, I do have, like, comics that are geared towards teenagers that are not written in the stereotypical teenager way that the DCYAs do it. Like, the DCYAs, they always want to take the superhero, turn them into a young person, turn them into teen or tweens, and then have them fight these really, like, low, how would I even explain it? Very low threat villains. Almost laughably low threat in some cases. And then they win and they get validated by their friends or something. And it's super campy. It's always super campy. But that's not how I really go about my own stuff that's geared towards teenagers. I mean, like, you got Horizon Quest, right? They're all basically adults, I think. I don't actually know what the age Adam had in mind for these characters, but I assume that they're all adults. They work together. They defeat the villain. And it's a high threat villain that requires them all to work together to actually beat. You could argue like it's a little bit campy, but it's not as campy as DCYA. Once again, adults, a married couple, basically going up against the mafia. But you know, these are my hand into the teenage stuff. Sorry, I missed a bunch of messages. I just went on like a tangent trying to talk about this. Oh, I'd love to see your take on a Teen Titans YA novel. Yeah. I don't know. Zatanna? Oh, yeah. They did do a Zatanna one, didn't they? I haven't read it, though. Zatanna the Jewel something? Yeah, I don't know. Dannphan Teen Titans equals need it. Oh, man. Oh, sorry. My chat jumped up a little bit, but I see that I got a super chat from Mark Schaefer, just supporting my creators. Have all your comics must review. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I wish I was a high threat villain. Yes, Teen Titans from you, even if they already have done them, they haven't done your version, and it could be the best. Yeah, well, I would kind of be tempted to go, how they say, back to basics. Because I also grew up with the Cartoon Network Teen Titans show, and I really liked their take on the Teen Titans, where they're like, they're friends and, you know, being teens hanging out without adult supervision, but they're still like mature enough to be able to take care of themselves and fight crime and stuff. I mean, I don't need to convince you guys that the Cartoon Network Teen Titans, the original one, was good. Then there's also like some arcs from that show that I didn't think they handled as well as they did in the comics. There's a couple dark things in the comics that I wouldn't really want to put as much attention on like they did for the adult movies. But you know, maybe some sort of balance with the two versions would be good for a YA take on it. Any thoughts on Winnie the Pooh's most recent fling with the client domain? It's a video game of sorts. I'm sorry, I don't really know about it. Would like to check out those old comics that the Titans had. Oh yeah, the new Teen Titans. It's a really, really good run. Teen Titans Go was a mistake. Teen Titans was amazing. Teen Titans Go, absolute garbage. I will say I don't like Teen Titans Go. I do know other people who like it, but they like it in sort of like a tongue-in-cheek way where they watch it with the understanding that you're not supposed to take it seriously. It's basically a parody. It's a parody show on the original Teen Titans. I'm just not a big fan of the humor. I just think it's a little bit too fast-paced. Kind of reminiscent of, I guess, SpongeBob episodes, but maybe even faster paced than those. It annoys me whenever someone gets their hands on a property. The first thing they do is turn the characters evil. Yeah, it does seem like that happens a lot, huh? Too much. It happens too much. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I feel like it's become their Anything Goes show. Teen Titans anime show from the early 2000s, probably the last superhero show not be talked down to their audience, and unlike Teen Titans Go, which is far more dumbed down version. Yeah, that's the parody. Comic based on the Teen Titans cartoons called Teen Titans Go. Yes, actually I did read some of those comics. They were okay. Some were better than others. They tried to like introduce, what was it, Tara's brother? Because they, let's see. In the original Teen Titans Go, rather than having Tara died, they decided that she gets turned into a stone statue. And then the finale, if you don't count the movie, because the movie is the true finale, but if you don't count the movie, the finale of the TV show was probably like one of the darkest, most messed up finales to end that Tara got turned into a stone statue plotline, where all of a sudden she's absolutely fine and just walking around. And she chooses to forget about being a superhero and forget about Beast Boy and go a different direction with her life. I don't know how, but she's like going to a school as a normal teenager now. I don't know who's acting as her parentals, but whatever. Who needs to know that stuff? But yeah, Beast Boy tries to convince her that, hey, actually, you're a superhero. We knew each other. We dated. And she's like, no, you're a big dum-dum. Then leaves him. And the episode just ends with him coming to terms with the fact that she doesn't care enough about him to remember, or something like that. It's like dark. It's a little bit, you know? Oh, I hated that episode of Teen Titans. Well, it left people with a lot of questions, right? And it was also like, yeah, it was so goddamn sad. What do you think? Better or worse if they just killed Tara like she died in the original? What is better? The fact that she lives but refuses to acknowledge her past? Or is it better that she dies? Which direction? Better? Probably better off as a statue. Very anticlimactic end to a great show. Better to die. Yeah, I don't know. She was a very different character in the comics, of course. So in the comics, for sure, she deserved that death. She was straight up evil. In the animated version, they try to make her seem more sympathetic, like, oh, she's just being used by Slade. Which it's not like she wasn't being used by Slade in the comics either. Of course she was, but she still decided to. She still decided to betray her friends, so still kind of evil. But they didn't want to do it that way in the animated version. They wanted you to feel bad for her. Sometimes dead is better. It makes her seem selfish to forget, since she was once a hero. DC animated movie did a good job, I thought, much closer to the books. Yeah, I have some nitpicks about those adult DC animated movies, but they did do it much closer to the comic. Even then, they were trying to get you to feel sympathy for her, where it's like, oh, but she sad though. But she crying though, so it's okay. You know what it is. It happens. I get it. I get what they're going for, but I don't know. It's kind of unnecessary. Has anyone read the manga Levius EST? I got the first volume a few years ago because I liked the art but zoned out reading it. Like the premise, though. Thoughts? I've never read the manga. I will say, though, there is a lot of manga out there where people fall in love with the art and the premise, and then the writing is not very good. I've had that experience multiple times where, like, I hang in there for a manga series for so long sheerly because I really like the idea. And the art for most manga is pretty good because they generally have high standards for art. But my God, there's you're gonna run into a bunch of those where like the idea is really good, you're hooked in, but it's just not executed that well or not paced that well. A lot of zoning out to the point where sometimes I just start skipping through some series, just like get to the good part, you know. It's tough. It's tough stuff. Or sometimes a big oopsie. It's the character that determines the story, not the other way around. It's for silly kids. Have you heard about Kaguro Baki manga? I'm pretty sure I have. Baki. Oh, yeah, okay. This one. Yes. I have been reading this. I just I just didn't recognize the title. Yes. So the one with where there's Japan, but nobody has guns. They only use katanas that have sorceries in them. Yes. Yeah, I've been reading that on Manga Plus. There's only a few chapters out though, so I don't really have a solidified opinion on it yet. Waiting for there to be a little bit more substance there. Kind of why I'm more selective when it comes to manga. Oh yeah, I mean, as I've said before, I don't want to get into a position where I'm lowering my standards just so I can enjoy more things, or, enjoy more things. I always like to have fairly high standards for stuff. So, in general, if you just can't keep my attention, I'm not going to force myself to enjoy a manga, even if I do like the premise, You kind of also have to write it well. What's the biggest waste of potential you've seen in manga or comics recently? Oh, there's a bunch of those. There's a bunch of those, honestly. Recently, though, let me go to Manga Plus. Because I can't really think off the top of my head what I would say is one of the biggest wastes. So I did a review on like Vibration Man recently, and the last few chapters have been kind of meh, not going in the direction or capitalizing on things that I think that they should. But I guess that's personal opinions there. I don't know if that's the biggest waste of potential, because they could bring it back around. So I wouldn't say that's the biggest waste of potential. What's something that I read recently that was a big you know what? That one manga, I mentioned it in one of my other streams. I haven't finished the series, but okay, I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere around here. I have so many books just stacked up around because I can't find room for them on the shelves. It was Kururu Kill Me. It's great premise. And I read the first volume, and for the most part, I enjoyed it. I kept reading, and it feels, I don't know, it just feels like it's doing the same shit over and over again. Same jokes. it just, started getting really stale and not, as I've said before, not capitalizing on where I think the story should have capitalized on, but I haven't finished it. So it's hard to say it's the biggest waste of potential, but I was let down. The more I kept on reading it, the more I was let down for that one. But I was pretty hooked on the first one overall. There's so many that have like such good ideas, right? That fucking fish you in, and then you get to there and you're like, but why not good? Why not good? If the idea is good, then why not good? My Hero Academia, good premise wasted. Hey, I mean, there's a bunch just like it. Like Vibration Man is essentially a similar premise, where it's like a bunch of superheroes going to a superhero school, sky high. Just throw them all into one category. That's what it is. I liked more Vigilantes than MHA. That's an interesting perspective. I've never read Vigilantes, but I have been let down by MHA, so maybe I should try out Vigilantes and see if I like that better. What are your thoughts on the latest Sonic stuff? Superstars, Frontiers DLC, etc.? I want to play Superstars for sure. I gotta play that with Adam. I started the Frontiers DLC, but I have not finished it, so I can't really give you the most informed opinions on that. I've been, based on what I've played of the DLC, I've been a little bit disappointed just because I'm playing with the Knuckles character at this moment, and I feel like Knuckles controls like shit. Just like his janky ass glide, not the biggest fan of, but it is what it is. I'll just have to endure. Blue Box and Chainsaw Man are two perfect side of the same coin. Don't know what you're referring to there. But Attack on Titan, terrible ending. Nothing worse than wasted potential. At least bad shows from the beginning don't crush your expectations. Will you stream Sonic Superstars? Probably. I mean, streamed every other Sonic game. Might as well. Ugh, yay. Yeah. Yeah, if you ever want to catch our streams, you can head on over to the Dannphan channel. That's where we do all our streaming. Although I guess since it's October, we should be doing more spooky stuff or like horror-esque stuff. And the last like 2 or so streams, we've been playing Freedom Force, which is a game that very little people even know exists. So probably not the best selection so far. Can't think of much when it comes to the manga side of things, unless you count US companies not finishing an English release completely. Yeah, well, I don't know. Knuckles can gain infinite height if you make him punch up before he glides. IDK saw it on a Twitter post. Yeah, that sounds like jank. Sounds like good jank. Did you hear that the anime for Undead Unluck came out today? Yes. Yeah, I saw the trailers for that. I have not watched it, though. I've always seen that just, well, I use Manga Plus, so I've always, seen it every time it updates, it gets shown on the homepage, and I'm always, curious about, maybe I should check that out. Although, granted, I don't know if I'm too queasy for a series like that, because it focuses a little bit on body gore, and I don't know if that would make me a little nauseous. Sometimes I'm okay with gore depending on how it's depicted, or there's a line somewhere. I just don't know what crosses it and what doesn't until I see it and until I feel it in my stomach. So I'm not sure if Undead Unluck would cross that line with all the body gore. I've never heard of Freedom Force before watching your streams. Friday the 13th game. Sea of Stars. I'd watch you play Amnesia. Very scary. Hi there, Robert Jackson. Try old Resident Evil or Castlevania games. It would be interesting to play Castlevania. I don't know what Adam is responding to when he added. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what he's responding to. Okay. Not a Sonic game without jank and glitches. I guess not. Undead Unluck is a good blend of shonen and shoujo, known as the king of bottom 5. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is an excellent horror game with a lot of Norse mythology mixed in. Interesting. School Live was a pretty good zombie manga. Castlevania Symphony of the Night would be pretty cool. Alright. Especially as an antidote to how awful Castlevania Nocturne is supposedly is. Yeah, I have heard about that. A big split between audiences and critics. Naturally, critics rate it 100%. No flaws whatsoever. And then the audience gave it like a 53% or something. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference in opinion. But, you know. What do we got? We got like 5-6 more minutes left. And then we already have to end Friday with Dannphan. Oh boy, time goes by so fast. Well, ladies and gents, I guess we gotta wrap it up, I guess, by maybe updates. Do I have any updates I can share? Well, for the most part, Sonic City Witch issue 3 is like kind of done. Mostly just like editing it, making sure that it's ready for the October 31st release. I'm also going to be opening up submissions sometime. I'll have them open for a limited time, though. They're not just going to be like permanently open forever. And as I've said, you know, probably not going to have that's not a sentence. Probably going to be very difficult to find something that I would want to publish, because I am very critical, of course. It's going to be very stingy. You don't have to end on time, you know. I do. I really do. I'm a schedule-oriented person. It affects my mental mood. It got hot in here. Alrighty then. Besides that, Reaper still going for next year. The 3D printer not doing so well. We had a warning message this morning, so probably needs to get that figured out before we do any more 3D printed perks, right? Curious to see how the new Sonic City Witch issue goes. Yeah, it's an exciting one. Granted, it's been somewhat stressful to work on the series in general, but getting close to being done. Basically, all I got to do now is release this and then start working on the finale, and then we can get things prepped up for the campaign, where we're just gonna pop everything together. And that's going to be its own stressful thing, because I have to redo all the shading and lettering for the first 2 issues, since they're all gone on the hard drive. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it'll be fun and easy. And I don't have to worry about it every day for my entire life. I actually really look forward to Reaper. The first chapter was good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to Reaper. That's my big thing. I want to make sure that it's very good. Any fall anime you planning to check out? Oh man, gotta pull up the list. Well, first of all, Spy X Family Season 2, obviously. Anime fall 2023. What do we got? Season 2 Spy X Family. We got more Dr. Stone, more Goblin Slayer, more Rising of the Shield Hero. Our dating story. The experienced you. What does this say? And the inexperienced me? I haven't heard about this one until right at this second. But I can tell you, if this is a wholesome romance about about these two dating, I want it. That sounds like it's right up my alley instantly. All right. Maybe that's something to look at. All right. Tokyo Revengers. My God, I've been so out of touch with the Tokyo Revengers manga because it kept on as... It got a little bit exhausting after a while, so I stopped reading it, and now I can't remember what chapter I was on last. Don't recognize those. I don't need any more isekai. No harems. What are these? No. More I'm in love with the villainess. Honestly, not feeling it anymore. I was feeling it when it started, because some of the jokes did make me laugh, but after a while, I'm just not feeling it anymore like I was when it started. Oh, is this the... Yeah, that's the after school Hanukkah-kun. So the spin-off that doesn't achieve anything. Okay, cool. I read a little bit of the Shy manga, wasn't feeling it. Stardust Telepath. What is this? That is a sick name. That's a sick title for a manga series. Okay, all-girl cast are we going with here? I'm not saying that because I hate women, right? I'm saying that because usually when it comes to manga with an all-girl cast, it's actually geared towards men, right? Because they get to look at the pretty ladies that are cute. If it's actually geared towards women, they have male characters to serve as love interests, right? But you know it. Perish in Frost. Oh, that's an anime based on a video game. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. Not seeing too much that I'm really freaking out and screaming over here. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff, though. I was expecting this list to already be done by now. Oh, there it is. There's the end. Okay. Yeah. Nah. The main thing that I'm looking forward to that we went over there was really just Spy X Family Season 2. Oh, it's categorized as a girls' love show? Yeah, that could be a thing. But I'll take the romance anime. That sounds like it could be cute. I'm always down for romance. That's my guilty pleasure. Significantly less guilty if it's wholesome. All right, gotta end the stream here. Got stuff to do, folks, and my throat is dry, and the air in this room is just barely breathable. So, I'm gonna see you next time. Next videos coming out. We got to finish up the Netflix One Piece reviews, right? And I'll get back to doing some live readings sometime. I have a few titles that maybe you'd be interested in a let's read of. I also have a few titles that maybe could be fun to roast as a review, or maybe some things for positive reviews, even though nobody watches those. But so I'll see you later. Maybe I'll see you on the Dannphan stream later tonight, because we do stream at night. Till then, everybody, I'll see you next time. Bye.